Trying to get my eyes adjusted up for these glasses all the time. We're good, how about you? Last week felt like about 20 days.
I didn't hear, I agree. 100%. Are you okay? I heard nothing back.
We'll bring our July the 18th, 2022 to our regular meeting. Glad to have each one that's here, and Mr. Barrier, will you lead us in our invocation?
Well, let's bow our heads. Father God, we're just thankful for this beautiful day, Lord, and we just ask, Lord, that you continue to bless Avery County, Lord, and we just thank you for the privilege it is to serve as manager and as the board, Lord, and we just ask that you lead and guide us through this meeting in this precious and wonderful name. Amen.
And if you would, please stand for our pledge of allegiance. Tim, would you please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're glad to have each one with us today, and Mr. Woody Young, he'll probably be in a few minutes. He's running a little late, I think. And we'll just move right along with our meeting. We'll go to 3.2A, proclamations and awards. And I believe we have about 9, don't we, Phil?
I believe we do. So it's an honor as the manager and an honor as just a citizen of Avery County to honor these fellow employees of Avery County that are true servants. And I just thank these people for all the citizens of Avery County. Avery County is a great place, and to be at a 15-year mark in your employment with the county, especially with me as the manager, is appreciated. And this is just a small token of our appreciation. Like Ms. Martha said, we have about 9 people we're going to honor today. Some of those earned their 15-year mark last year, but because of that word that starts with a C that we're not going to talk about in the near future, it kept them from being able to be here. So we're going to recognize these folks at this time. When I call your name, if you'll stand, and then when we get all the names called, if everybody will come forward, we have a small token of our appreciation for you. First, from our communications department, is Ms. Karen Laws. And Karen, your coworker said that you are the energy that they want when they're on the other end of the 911 call. So thank you for all you do for Avery County. First, from the senior center, we have two. We have Jeanette Hughes and Carolyn Kirkpatrick. Sorry, I say it wrong every time. Sorry about that, but these two are big servants and servant hearts. Compassion is what I hear, you know, when people talk about you two. Shannon Singleton, Social Services. Shannon, couldn't do it without you. We appreciate you. All you do, again, big heart. Mr. Jeffrey Bird from Building and Grounds. He doesn't hang up the phone when I call him. Never knows what it's going to be. Never know, but we've got the best Building and Grounds department anyone could ever ask for. Joseph Owens. Not sure that he's here, but he's also going to be recognized today in our solid waste department. They have a tough job. Have Sheila Ollis, elections. Sheila, you're the one to vote for, they say. So appreciate everything you do. I have two from the sheriff's office, and we had a little hiccup. They showed up a little earlier, but they're out right now. But I'm going to mention their name: Timothy Austin and Frank Catalina. And Sheriff, if you'll receive these for them and tell them thank you for the service to citizens of Avery County. So guys, if y'all come forward, this marks a small token. We'd like to get a picture, and we just thank you from the bottom of our heart.
Frank may be staring it up and we just can't see him.
Poor Frank.
Oh.
Here, I'll help you. Let's see. Shannon and Karen.
Shannon. Karen. Carolyn.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Thank you. Jeanette.
Bird.
Oh, Bird.
Y'all turn around this way and get up here with me. Come on. Get up here.
Get the carpet.
Now, let me do I need to lay down or up?
Stand back here in the back.
He don't deserve that.
You know how you accept an award on somebody else's behalf. Thank you, guys. When we make it 30 years, we'll talk. We'll do it again.
All right.
How about a car? It's hers. I didn't say what kind of car.
All right, we'll move right along. 3.2, B, our public comments. Do we have anyone that wants to speak in public comment? Well, we'll move right along. 3.2, C, board appointments. And we need to appoint someone to be able to go vote as a delegate in the NCACC.
The annual conference.
Yep.
Commissioners, do we hear a volunteer or a told volunteer or a nomination?
It needs to be somebody that's gonna be there.
Yeah. So it's August 11th through the 13th in Cabarrus County.
I'm gonna be there.
Yo,
I mean, I didn't, I'm just saying I'm gonna be there.
Well, I'll volunteer Mr. Tim. He's always efficient and there, and everybody needs a chance to do this job.
We will be there.
and stay late.
Yeah, stay late.
I will second that nomination.
All in
Appreciate
favor?
all the-
Aye.
Appreciate that. You'll enjoy, I've done that, I think every time except this time that I've been on board, it's, you'll enjoy, I'm not coming to go this year, but you'll enjoy that.
All right, we got that
Doesn't
took
the
care
county
of.
manager have to say that too, then?
Yeah, the county manager say.
3.2, we have our public hearing at 4 o'clock, but it's not 4 o'clock, so we'll move on down and take some more of our things in, and I think, Tommy, did you want us to try to get yours in?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll go to 3.3B, the subdivision approval, fish count, phase 3, APUD, units 14 through 19.
Yes, Madam Chairman. You have the letter here, the documents that the Avery County Planning Board had. By motion, June 27th, 2022, a motion by Cheryl Buchanan, second by Cody Smith. Plat presented to them for you today has been approved by the Avery County Planning Board with all members present in favor of said motion. Fish count phase 3 is a PUD, Planned Unit Development, 14 through 19. Avery County Planning Department has inspected the site and all sedimentation, soil and erosion control BMPs, best management practice, are installed and the approved grading permit has been followed. No off-site sediment has occurred during this time sequence of this phase of being developed. The road width and emergency vehicle turnaround meet the guidelines of the Avery County subdivision. The roads have been certified by the surveyor, Justin Howell, that the roads grades do not exceed 18% as required by our ordinance. Any questions, the commissioners? You have David Weatherman representing the Eagles Nest, or any questions to myself?
Do you have any questions from the commissioners? We've had the maps and stuff to look at and study and the approval of the board. All right, do I hear a motion that we approve this subdivision?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
At the break, will you sign it now or you'll sign it now?
I'll sign it now and then. I'll
How's basketball game?
Over 90 kids?
90 kids?
Yep, that's a big number. One child said that I sweat part of it.
I'd rather be a basketball team.
Yes, 70 years old, I sweat quite a bit.
Been a long time.
I don't keep me young enough.
They kind of put them all over the place.
Commissioners, I appreciate you very much. Appreciate you, Mr. Berry. Appreciate you, Mr. Turfield.
I've made me wait for the meeting with the state church.
I would have. I've had a lot worse. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, we'll go back up to 3.3A, Avery County Ranger Report, DJ Whitson.
Thank you all. Nice to meet you. Avery County Ranger DJ Whitson. I started in September of last year, taking over where Joe Shoup retired. This position was vacant from, I think, March until September. And an 8-month smoke chaser. The laws continue to have 25 active members on our strike teams that we employ during those high hazard days. For service, we're still utilizing the bridge program. Our inmates come to work for $1 a day. We use those guys several times for fires here in Avery County. Fall and spring. COVID really hurt our numbers and the program's in bad shape. Our camp's out. Hopefully here before long, things will get back to where we were a couple
couple years ago. Let's see, our fall fire season and spring fire season, we responded to 47 fire calls, of which those burned approximately 65 acres of private land, as well as the 1,000-acre fire that was down in Roseboro over Creek. In those fires, we protected 7 homes and 2 other structures valued at around $920,000. Reasonable persons were identified in 17 of these fires and resulted in 15 warning tickets being issued, and that continues to be an effective fire prevention measure for our agency. We don't have too many. At approximately 3,100 burn permits that were issued between burn permit agents as well as our online website. Continuing to promote Firewise communities, addressing the wildland-urban interface problems that we have. Also maintaining community wildfire protection, which incorporates pre-planned attacks in our fire districts. We encourage landowners, or continue to encourage landowners to take steps before a fire happens next to their homes. The equipment and facilities, we maintain 3 trucks, 2 that are driven daily and 1 that is for strike team members. We also maintain a UTV that we use for fire control. Forest Service has the planes and helicopters that are stationed in here. Of course, the season. Maintaining the Hawshaw Fire Tower property and the office and compound there on Prison Camp Road. 2 of our BFDs received 50/50 matching grants provided by us, resulted in funding of $7,280 to assist them in purchasing wildland fire equipment. Also, this past year, we had a safety audit from the Department of Ag come and audit the Avery County facility. And their findings, we had 3 minor violations. That was just me signing paper. Everything else we passed really well on it. Water quality inspections, there were 11 harvested sites that we found last fiscal year. They covered 250 acres of forest land with no major violations being found on any of those. Forest management, we had 11 management plans written for 193 acres. 1 forest management assist, a stewardship plan. Landowners were referred to consulting foresters, and 250 acres of natural regen and prescribed burn for 16 acres. Our I&E kind of fell off from previous years due to COVID and large group gathering. We did get several social media posts, newspaper articles, radio interviews. We did get 1 school visit in. That's the end of my report. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Where is the closest bridge facility now?
It's Morganton.
Morganton?
Yep, they closed Marion and Craig.
Okay.
Well, they got Caldwell, but Morganton, all the guys that we ordered came from Morganton.
We appreciate all the assistance that bridge program gives. Sometimes it's not just fire, it's other things.
Yeah, bridge is a great
We appreciate
program.
that.
That's where I started my career. Hate to see it going away, but with COVID and all that'll back up. Prisons will start hiring, get their numbers back up.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
All righty, we'll move right along. We have a resolution to endorse Senator Bill 233, Joe Miller, and I believe Jim Phillips is with him, so
I want to make it quick.
All right.
And he did ask if it was okay to invite you, and I said, yeah.
Here for demonstration purposes.
Oh, okay.
First off, I'd like to thank y'all for allowing me to come today. I'm from Spruce Pine, North Carolina, and I'm representing the North Carolina Trappers Association Board. We have spent diligently the last few years going around to every county in the state trying to get fox trapping laws reversed that were instituted back in the 60s and 70s. We had a period of time, and everybody who's of age can remember when fox hound hunting was a very popular event in North Carolina. And we had some of the fox houndsmen who were very influential and petitioned the state to remove the fox off of the fur bearers list and put it back to county law. And so most of the county laws were set where you couldn't have foxes anymore. And so we're just trying to go back and redo what has been done. I brought some literature with me today if anyone is interested. I'd pass these out to you. I started this endeavor a couple of years ago, first in my own county, Mitchell County, where we voted to reverse it and set the fox trapping back to coincide with coyote trapping, since you pretty much, when you're coyote trapping, you're doing the same thing. You can target foxes as well. And then we went to Yancey County and got that reversed as well. And then when COVID hit, it kind of stalled everything, and so today I come before you to present it. If you look at Avery County statistics, you can see that a lot of this I based off of the amendment to the Constitution for the right to hunt, fish, and harvest wildlife. And if you look at Avery County's numbers, over 77% voted in favor of that amendment to the Constitution. And I look at that as 77% of the citizens of Avery County would want fox trapping in their area. The thing that I love about the bill that we have is that you can't fox trap on any land that you don't own or have permission to do so. So if someone feels like that trapping foxes is not for them, then they just can deny it on their own property, and that's perfectly fine. We're just here to ask you for your help in supporting our bill so that we can present this at the next legislative session and get this passed through. I'm welcome to answer any questions. I brought today, Mr. Phillips here has a typical box trap that we currently, that's one, I just pulled it right out. If you notice, it's got a shot spring right there. So it doesn't hurt the animals, and you can see it doesn't hurt me either. That's typical fox's foot. Okay? It didn't hurt me a bit. Can you please remove that? No broken bones, no blood. It's strictly designed to hold the animal there until the trapper gets there.
And the animal, I mean, they can fight, they can twist, it's got 3 different swivels on it, they can't get fouled up in it. I mean, this is legislated that this has to be on it, and, you know, so if the animal does struggle, they're not struggling against a deadline, they're struggling against a cushion. So, in Joe's demonstration there, number one, it doesn't hit hard enough to break, because he stuck his own finger in, and number two, if they are going to struggle, they're struggling against something that gives. Okay.
You have a lot of, people don't realize how many foxes are in the area. There, if you reference the study done by the North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission, they stated that every county has a sustainable fox population that is more than harvestable through trapping. And right now, you're basically limiting citizens that when they do have a fox problem, they're limited in how they can handle that. I can put out, traps and catch more foxes in one night than you can harvest with a rifle in that whole season. It's much more effective in animal control. And that's really what we're looking at. We're not looking to eliminate any species. We don't want to eliminate them. We just want to do a conservation message on them. You know, when you have conservation, you're kind of holding the baseline. And when you have preservation, you're going to get an overpopulation, which then means that you're going to have animals coming out of the woods because they've depleted their food source. And now they're moving into neighborhoods to try to find more food source. That's why you're hearing about coyotes in certain areas. They're starting to attack people's pets. They're actually starting to attack people's children. And the majority of that reason is because they don't have a sustainable food population within their own territory. They're having to expand that territory. So, and the reality of it is, by doing this, you're maintaining a better balance. You're controlling diseases such as rabies because you're not overpopulating the area and letting disease do what a trapper could do on a more sustainable and less evasive manner.
Any commissioner have any questions or anything?
There, you have sustainable support in the Senate for this?
Yes. If the county presents, if the county commissioner board gives their support, then it's pretty much, that's the step and hurdle that we need to overcome.
Heard that about the room tax, too.
Well, we have done over 30 counties this way, and as long as the county, it really boils down to you supporting it and then letting your representatives in the Senate and the House, then support the bill. They have to support it, but I'm assuming since you support it, they're going to follow your wishes. That's between you and them.
That's an assumption right there.
We've never had it not happen, I'll say that. I can't say what would happen, I'm not gonna tell you.
It doesn't have the word tax in it.
All right, we have the resolution before us and have been able to read it and study it. Does anybody feel like they'd like to make a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Did that see in the mail?
And I wanna thank y'all for all that y'all do. I know that a county commissioner's work is not just sitting there at that desk, and thank you for all the time that y'all do put in.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you, board.
Thank you.
All right. We've got about 4 more minutes. We can't take care of that one, I know. Well, we might can do the resolution for our sheriff, Mike Henley, at 3.3G. For dangerous dogs. We're gonna let Mike speak on that for just a second.
Well, I don't have anything to really speak about it. I'll be glad to take that on.
All right.
California.
I need that, read that resolution aloud, or is everybody okay? Dale, you good?
So just to clarify for everyone who's listening, the county has to have an individual who's designated responsible for determining a dog is a potentially dangerous dog, and traditionally that's been the sheriff. That's what.
Thank you.
All in favor of this resolution, say aye. Aye. I want to thank Mr. Mike for coming today. And if somebody don't know him, he is our new sheriff for Avery County. We're looking forward to working with you. All right, we'll recess for about 3 minutes. and then we'll come back and do our public hearing. I hear a motion that we don't have to, okay, all right.
And they were looking at already one in opportunity zone, the only one we have is Elk Park, yeah, that area. Back into our meeting, and like I said, we do have a public hearing at 4 o'clock, and it's the closeout of the 2018 CDBG Neighborhood Revitalization Program number 17-C-2991. And I'd say Michelle's ready for that. Sure, I didn't think about it, I didn't factor in that.
Wait a minute, we need to have a motion to go into our public hearing. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I was just gonna say, I was afraid I was gonna be late, so I did factor in that traffic at Broadstone coming from there, so I turned around and took the Parkway. Still took me a little bit longer, but not as late as if I'd gotten stuck, so. Anyway, purpose of this public hearing is to give the opportunity for citizen input concerning the closeout of this Avery County CDBG Neighborhood Revitalization Program, 17C-2991. The county was awarded $610,000 in February 2018 to provide housing repair assistance to very low and low-income residents within the county. A total of 12 homes were treated with program funds. 4 were completely replaced with through reconstruction assistance. They were replaced with double wide homes on permanent foundation, except for there was one single wide wasn't there. One single wide because of property constraint.
Right.
And 8 homeowners received emergency repair assistance, which is small repairs under $5,000. And the homes that were assisted, the reconstructions were located on Jackson Loop Lane, Old Minneapolis Road, Henson's Creek, and George Lane, Spruce Pine, although it is in Avery County.
That address changes right there.
Yeah, it's on Hanging Rock Road, right before the county line. And emergency repairs took place on homes on Jerry's Creek Road, Snowshoe Loop, Little Squirrel Creek, another one on Cherry's Creek, Peach Lane, Powder Mill Creek, Banner Elk Highway, and Isaac's Branch. Originally, there were 8 homes selected for the program. Of those, 1 homeowner passed away, 1 was placed in a nursing home,
and would not be returning home. The county was unable, because of the, the county was also unable to assist the remaining 2 homes in the original application. Both of those were scheduled to receive rehabilitation assistance. They were not going to be replaced. But the cost of the 4, the COVID and everything just blew the budget, basically. I mean, that's just down and dirty. COVID and just materials, labor, everything was increased. There's also unexpected expenses on a couple of the homes, including large costs for some temporary housing for one family that unfortunately went along much longer than expected, and it was basically because they had to be out of their home and their new home, and it just kept going on. If we'd ever get them in there. Matter of fact, did you know that was I didn't realize until I was looking back, that was the first home that we actually started and the last home that was completed. It took the whole project to get that one home done. Out of the, $610,000 for the 3-year project was received, with $590,927.67 being spent towards the program, including $529,179.03 for $529,179.03 for reconstruction activities, and that averaged out about $132,294 per house. But that included clearing the old home, a new manufactured home setup, grading, temporary relocation, wells, septic systems, and then anything else that we needed, permits, any other kind of soft costs that needed to be done. One of those homes kind of jacked that average up a little bit. $37,319.71 was spent on the emergency repairs, which averaged out about at $4,664 a home, and $24,428.93 went towards the planning and admin. There are some unexpended funds in the amount of $19,072.33. These will be deobligated, or basically returned back to the Department of Commerce to be used for future CDBG funds. It all goes into kind of a pot, and then they try to re-award that money. And we did, because of COVID and because of some of the delays, we did have to get 2 extensions on this program. So we're finishing up a year later than we normally do, than we should have. So it was actually a 4-year program.
Do you have any questions from the board? If not, do I hear that anybody in the audience wants to speak on?
I'd like to say one thing first. I want to thank Michelle Ball and Michelle Poor. You wouldn't think you have to involve the attorney when you're replacing someone's home, but we got to make sure all the deed and all the restrictions and all that's right. And even have to have Bruce to help us with a lot of it, to make sure that we're correct on our mapping and everything, and we're not in certain floodplains and certain things, or we can't help the client. So I appreciate your all's hard work. It makes me feel really good about everybody on the committee that chose these folks. I had phone calls after the first winter that we replaced one of the young ladies' family's homes. They didn't know what warm meant. They didn't know what it meant to be warm in the wintertime, because they didn't have proper insulation and proper heat system in their old home. So thank you for that. And then one of the rehabs was they did not have running water in their bathtub. They had it in the sink in their bathroom, so they would carry water over to the tub. They now have a new bathroom with running water, they have a new roof, and they have new windows and new insulation in their home. So this program makes a huge difference for the lives of our citizens. So I want to just thank you for that.
And I would also say, I didn't mention that in here, but the emergency repairs were handled through WWAMI. And they used these monies along with their weatherization. So sometimes, I said there was $4,600 per home.
We might have spent more.
Probably double that, because then there's weatherization money or any of their other monies they might have been able to match with it. Just this was just a part of some of the work that was done to some of the homes.
It's good that y'all can work
Yeah,
together.
it's awesome. I got the rest, you're the rest.
Michelle, we don't have to do anything as far as making a motion or anything?
I guess after you come out of public hearing, I guess for Ms. Hicks' assignment, the paperwork, the closeout performance report.
Authorize her to sign the paperwork, okay, once we go.
All right, do we have any more discussion?
I'd just like to say thank you too. I know it's a lot of work.
And especially during the time that you was doing this, we're usually on time.
Yeah, we rarely ask for extensions, but we were not the only ones. I'm sure the ones that did not ask for extensions were the rarity this past time.
All right, do I hear a motion that we go out of our public hearing?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, now we need to approve for me to sign.
Closeout performance report.
I hear a motion to approve. All right, we have Woody and Mr. Banks. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Just to let you know, we're getting ready. We're supposed to start a new one. They got,
I think it's in our packet.
Yeah.
got $750,000 to do a new one, and we're waiting on comments to come back from the environmental review. Everything's been turned in, so as soon as that happens, get that money too.
Do you have the original?
I got a copy, and I can if you want to
So you don't have to come back.
Yeah, actually, it was here and dated, and then there's on the very last page in that yellow.
Separate these two. We're gonna put bubble wrap at the bottom of someone's porch with this money.
Did you have a copy?
I have.
No, I don't need it.
$72 spent on bubble wrap.
Oh, it's all funny, so it's not.
There's the bottom. You can lay it on the ground.
That's me on it.
Do you want a copy, or I can scan it and send it to you? Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll move right along to 3.3D, Home and Community Block Grant, Philip Adams.
Commissioner, how are you on today? I do want to, on behalf of Senior Services, all the staff there, thank you all for the raise this year. Very helpful to our staff and all the staff in Avery County, so I greatly appreciate that. I do want to share that we have had a tough end of the budget year and beginning of the budget year, in that we have lost, of course, our greatest cheerleader, Rachel Deal. We have lost our best volunteer, Gerald Aldridge, who passed away, who minimum of 3 days a week. And I'm getting ready to lose my secretary, my right hand, to retirement, which, we're happy for her, but we will, my right hand, that'll be going. So that is something that I just want to share with y'all, that we have some challenges facing us. Our biggest challenges, of course, is the home delivered meals program. Our meal delivers drive 50,000 miles a year. It's over 4,000 miles a month that our meal delivers deliver meals in this county. That is getting tougher and tougher, as y'all know, as the gas prices just go out of sight. We have combined our aides. Our aides go together. They spend half the time at the people's houses, but they drive together. So they'll spend an hour for a 2-hour and do a 2-hour session, since it'll be two of our aides there. We're doing everything we can to help be good stewards of what y'all supply. So we appreciate that. On the positive side, one of the things we were just talking in the back about weddings, and I said, well, you know, I think I'm pretty safe in saying we're the only senior center you can come in, meet your future spouse at dinner, have the director marry you, and have the kitchen staff do the, do the food. So we have had that, and I just thought I'd share that. I'm here about the Home and Community Care Block Grant. It is about the same as we got last year. It's a little bit lower, but generally in October, November, when they have finished sorting out the state budget, it will go up just a little bit, which probably will this year, we hope, anyway, and get back to where it was last year. The Home and Community Care Block Grant is our biggest funding source outside of the county. It is for specific services. It is for in-home aid, levels 1 and 2, level 1 being home management, which is basically cleaning the areas of the house that the person lives in. Level 2 is personal care, which can include bathing and any services like that. Home delivered meals program, which we are higher in the number of meals we are delivering now than we have ever been. We have just under 100 clients right now. Last count was 97. It's the highest we've ever been. We really need to add another route, but we're struggling with volunteers on the route we have. Usually 3 days a week on delivered meals to help us. Congregate meal program, which, as you all remember the line we had for the last 2 years, we aren't getting quite as many inside as we got outside, but it has been growing since we opened fully inside. Just expanded to our first overflow room, so we felt like we are getting more back to normal now. That is great, and our programs inside are expanding. We're still doing some online stuff. It goes for that program. It also goes for the senior center in general, and we have a small amount, just under $10,000 for transportation for seniors. That was the one service in the last couple of years we have underspent, but we still get the money because we transferred it to a service that we could. That was because of COVID. Hurt that. I don't expect that this year since we're pretty much running back transportation normal again. But we didn't lose any money from it. We just had to transfer it to one of our other services. So that is where we're at. It's the same percentages based on last year. The presentation I have, you all have the documents and the contract to sign. Unless you have any questions for me.
Have any?
We just need authorization for Ms. Chairman Hicks to sign the,
sign the contract that we can then get reimbursed.
okay.
Did I hear a motion to approve the contract and to sign the contract?
I move. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I'll just get that from Sandy.
Okay.
I don't need it today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move right along to 3.3E, Tax Administration Report, Mr. Freestone.
Which we ran everybody off.
That's quite all right.
What we got?
The numbers put me to sleep when I put them together, so hopefully they'll be the same. To start with, I'd like to give you the June collections for your approval at $69,420.60.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I move.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Along with collections sometimes comes the necessary releases, Mr. Young, and for your approval, month we have 48 cents.
Move to approve. 48 cents in a second.
Yes, we need a second.
I'm second.
All in favor, say aye.
I'll dig in my pocket and see if I can buy you a drink.
The collections are down, but so are the...
But so are the releases, yes, but coming up momentarily, you'll see that collections are actually fairly decent. So, as you can see for sales, we are still running absolutely crazy. 95 more sales for June compared to 101 last year, so we are down a little bit. You know, we're starting to see, watch the news, you're starting to see nationwide certain indicators turning Home market, this area, it always lags behind, the national trends as far as home prices, home conditions are concerned, so, I don't necessarily know that we're going to be feeling any of this, time soon, but the trends are there, that the house expected raise of, interest rates by a survey of builders' confidence actually coming down to about 55%, which is the lowest it's been. So the trends are there, as far as the housing market to cool, but as you can see for right now, that's not the case in Avery County. The top one on the list, the 79 acres, down on 19E, it sold in March, of last year for $470,000, and so they turned it around in June for $1.2 million. So held the property for 14 months.
Backyard campground.
$700,000.
Beside backyard campground.
I wouldn't mind paying taxes on that.
So, you know, hopefully they will go in and do some capital improvements on the property where we can, adjust that rate, on them a little bit. We hit the previous sale. We hit the sale that we had for 21. But obviously there would be no way to hit that sale. Sales are still quite ridiculous.
Are the ratio, which of course is skewed, I mean, immediately after revaluation, they begin to separate.
Just separate, right.
Is that pretty much indicative of everything
That's indicative of sale prices continuing to rise.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where, you know, with the revaluation, you know, just using a blanket number of around 45 to 55% increase virtually on every property countywide. With what we did with their recent numbers, but you're seeing this right here, where the sales prices are, that's what this indicates. The sales prices are still, I actually talked with a gentleman from DOR about this, and he was flabbergasted that these numbers are still going up like they are. But yes, it's just it's a condition. List prices and sales prices still being astronomical.
You could do another revaluation January 1st, and this shows you grade 25%.
25 more.
25% more on what we just raised.
Which we're not, by the way.
Which is not on the book, but this is what this is indicating.
We don't make it.
I mean, it's hard to even think about.
When you add over $1 billion of market value in one revaluation period, and the market still escapes you, there's no blame, in my opinion, to be looking at as far as anything that we could have done differently, just simply because if people are asking, they're getting right now. And like I say, you hate to wish for a downturn in the housing market, but that's going to be the only thing that's going to pull this out any. And typically, in my past experiences, this area is a year to a year and a half behind typical national average, but also what that leads to is it tends to be much longer to recover here at such time as things go wrong. So, you know, make hay while the sun shines, which is what we're trying to do, but the sun is shining bright and the grass is growing fast, so. Any other questions on that before I get to the wonderful annual collection report here for you? As you can see, our total levy for 2021 came out to $22,325,634.21. The breakdown of that between county tax, fire tax, so on and so forth, is there for you to see. So our pre-discovery and pre-release total was $22,023,747.37. We added, as far as discoveries, with utilities being the large portion of that, but other items that we take into account through the year, we added another $339,769.67. And the releases for the year only totaled $10,082.83. So as long as the discoveries outpace the releases, I think we're in pretty good condition there. So
that was for you, Woody.
And if there we go, our clicker works. Sometimes, but bear with me. Great, I promise. Here we go. Looking at our 2021 tax bills, again, the total levy is the number from the previous page of $22,352, or $22,352,634. Out of that, we have a collections total of $22,066,287.43. So for the tax year that just has passed, we're at 98.45%. As you will see on the next slide, is actually ahead of where we were the 21 period. You'll notice motor vehicles are showing 0%. The state took that over in 2013. So while we still collect some of those, we aren't responsible for the billing, and we do that. So it's a situation where the motor vehicle percentage I'm not necessarily going to see as a separate breakdown. To give an idea, the 2020 numbers, our total levy was $21,784,536.01. So the fiscal year totals for 2020, we collected $21,431,219.81. So the collection rate for 2020 at this particular time was 98.38%. So year to date, we had a 0.7% improvement in our collection totals, or collection rates, and everything coming through. So again, motor vehicles are a non-factor as far as the year-to-year stuff that we do now. An indication here of the 10-year totals. From 2012 to 2021, all tax bills, we had a levy of $191,878,529. Off that levy, we have collected $190,984,458.91 for a collection of 3%. Our 10-year number really and truly is as good as anybody could reasonably expect. So that's for all tax bills, and the breakdown that we have between the real and personal property versus motor vehicles. You can see we're at 99.56% for the real and personal property, and then it drops off to the 94.85% for vehicles, simply because if it's a motor vehicle that we would have billed in 2013, chances are that vehicle's no longer on a wreck. It's sitting up on blocks somewhere. Something has come in, so we still occasionally get a little bit of those coming in, but it's not very often any longer. Payment agreements, okay, for 2021 only, we're looking at $12,701.56. So our 10-year total for our outstanding payment agreements are $37,597.24. With our bankruptcies that we have, our 2021 total, we only have $1,657.62 for one, and the 10-year total is only $16,504.07. The bankruptcy route seems to not be as popular as it once was, so we're looking at some numbers on those coming in. Attorney pursuits, we have turned over for 21 only, $17,699.92, and a 10-year total, we are looking at $189,599.95. Again, those numbers could be much higher, much worse than they are, but when you're looking at a 3%, not a tremendous amount out there to get. Just as a separate breakdown, I don't have a slide for this, but I had a report ran. We sent out some final letters back in May. So from May 2nd, 2022 to actually today's date on the final letters that we sent out saying, okay, we're going to turn you over if you don't pay, we've actually brought in $84,000 on final letter agreements only. So that's been a very effective tool for us this year as well. So overall, collections totals look fairly solid through my eyes. Hopefully they do through yours as well. Herein is the conclusion of the report for the fiscal year of 21-22. Are there any questions or comments that I can address? The people that work out there do the good job. Wonderful crew. It's a wonderful staff. They work hard.
And not out of balance a penny.
No, they will pour over the books. I think we sent 2 cents down once, and then a couple days later, we found it. So, but they will not leave, especially on the collection side, they will not leave until they find every single cent to put in balance. It's very, very impressive how they do that. So, very, very thorough in what they do.
Good job.
Right.
Do we need any kind of motion?
No, ma'am.
We don't have to.
No, ma'am. This is for just educational purposes only. There's no approval needed on any of this.
We do.
Thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all.
All right, we'll move along to 3.3 F, lease agreement, MOU with Freedom Life.
Board, as you know, we're committed to doing something about the drug problem and the reentry problem that we have here in Avery County. We want every citizen to thrive in our county, so this is an effort to allow the Freedom Life program to open their doors here in Avery County at the Avery Cares building. So first, we have a resolution authorizing the lease of the real property known as the Avery Cares building, and which the chairman will need to sign, and then also a memorandum of understanding with Freedom Life and the County of Avery, and we will also need the chairman to sign the MOU. Are there any questions?
Then we need an adoption for the resolution and then approval of the MOU.
I guess the only question is, before the board votes on it, is the term, if this was at the beginning of the 1st of July or the 1st of August.
It can start the 1st of August. Let's say 1st of July, so if in case they want to get in there, they can get in there as soon as this is signed.
Well, I mean, if we haven't spoken with them, it might be better just to make it the 1st of August.
Okay, 1st of August is fine.
That would be the date that would be filled in on the resolution, with the term beginning on the 1st of August. And then on the lease agreement, that would be the date, that the effective date would begin the 1st of August. And, memorandum of understanding as well. Effective that date.
All right. Do I hear a motion that we adopt the resolution starting for August the 1st, 2022 to, with the Freedom of Life? I hear we adopt this resolution.
Move to adopt.
I hear a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All right, now we need to, a motion for the lease agreement.
Well, actually, I think the resolution takes care of the lease agreement. We just need a motion to approve the MOU.
Motion to approve, yeah.
All right.
And here you can make one motion to approve both, if you want.
I hear a motion that we approve the lease and the MOU with Freedom Life.
So moved.
I hear a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, board. I really think this is going to make a difference, and I will remind you that on August 20th, because for Freedom Life to work, it's going to take the entire community, it's going to take the county. So on August 20th is the kickoff at the Agricultural Center, the Avery, what's the name of our building? Avery Community Center, thank you, at the Heritage Park. There will be a kickoff. Yes, and I encourage you all to put that on your calendar and bring everybody you can, because it will take all citizens to make sure this happens. It will take the community to make sure this is successful.
And that's at 5:30.
5:30, yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll move along to 3.4A, our county manager's report.
First thing, I just want to say out loud, being prepared is important. And Team Avery was prepared in the beginning of our Highland Games this year. And I just want to thank everyone involved out loud. Great job. Everybody came together and helped a tragic situation be better. So I just want to thank everyone for being prepared. That's why you plan things, that's why you go to classes, that's why you are educated, and that's why we have equipment to be prepared for those situations, and Avery County did a great job. A couple of other things. So this Wednesday, we have a economic workshop with the High Country Council of Governments here at 10 o'clock. That is open to anyone, so I think all the commissioners are going to be there. Also, at 1 o'clock, we have a board workshop where we will be working on the American Rescue Plan, the opioid settlement, and different things. Had a meeting with Megalyn since the June meeting, talking with the Dogwood Trust on some housing possibilities with Mitchell, Avery, and Yancey on the Megalyn campus to help with our housing situation. I will be meeting with a private developer this Friday, also with some apartments, and we have our first town meeting with the Dogwood Trust, the grant we got for the asset in-depth inventory on the water and sewer. So that is this Friday, also up at Heritage Park. Broadband, I did hear from someone today that if y'all remember, we also received an Appalachian Regional Commission grant. And that was to be used in the 19E area. And they just got word today that their home will be hooked up the week of August, first week in August. And they just wanted to call and let me know that that was happening. So their daughter that lives up the hill this grant won't cover her home, but hopefully something in the near future will. So very excited about those broadband efforts. Couple of reminders. On August 6th, you have the opportunity to go to the horse draft pool up at Heritage Park. That's at 2 o'clock. And also in your packet you saw on August 6th is the farm tour. If anybody would like to go to that, you do need to register for that. And that is from 10 to 5 on that Saturday. Dogwood Trust is also having a partner workshop, and that will be at Haywood County, and I've been invited to that. That is October 6th. So I will definitely be going into that they've been a great help with our Freedom Life and with the housing grant. So we appreciate Dogwood Trust and their partnership with Avery County. I just wanted everyone to know that Jenny Harpole teaches a class at Lease Agreement College in the summertime called New Opportunity School for Women. And they asked if they could come just to learn about our county government, but also just county government as a whole. And it was a wonderful workshop, a wonderful day, very satisfying. I want to thank Cindy for helping me with that. And very well received. We actually took a tour. And I think, made a difference in those people's lives, and they made a difference in ours, and the work we did. It was great. They were just great, went well, and they appreciated what we did. That's all I have. Good? Not too bad?
Not too bad. Okay, we'll move right along then. 3.4, 2, and we have our Agriculture Designing Association, LLC contract for VSS building.
Yeah, so we have our contract for our VSS building to be added onto and remodeled. There are a couple of changes that our attorney wants to make, and one of those being in paragraph 8.24. It should refer to section 8.2, not 8.1. So that will be one thing we will change if you all accept and adopt this contract. And the other is on 11.1, 1, the paragraph will read, 10% of the construction contract amount for completed construction. In the event that the project is halted prior to the completion of construction, the payment due will be based on the phases of completion noted in section 11.5, with billings in a phase only partially completed following the percentage completion of that phase. Correct, Michelle?
Yes, or language substantially.
Okay.
Those were the two changes that we saw and what came back from the architect, and we haven't got those quite worked out. So there was a question on how the payments would be if the project was halted, before construction was completed. The amount would be that would, what that says is the 10% based, on the phases.
So with that understanding, we need to approve this contract, right?
I would ask the board for a motion to approve it, based upon, those two changes with, that language or substantially same language, with approval of the manager and the county attorney.
All right, now you heard what our attorney said, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Michelle's worth her weight in gold here, because she has worked on this and worked on
Worth her weight in gold, and she read it.
That's right.
It's a little dry, but.
If you read it, I'm sure that you,
I was doing good till I got all the strike throughs, and then I was like,
well,
Yeah.
that's kind of a million, I just thought, well.
Sit down
Michelle
with
read
two
it.
copies, going back and forth, trying to see what changed.
We've been back and forth at least twice with them, and then, yeah, let me read that one more time, make sure we got everything, and then that's when we found the oops on the A part and the other part, so. Third time's a charm.
It's ready then.
Yeah, we'll move forward.
All right. We'll move on to 3.4B, our finance officer, Caleb Hogan.
Good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon.
I have just a few items for your consideration today. Item number 1.
You'll be out of breath in this,
I will. The Avery County Sheriff's Office is requesting money to add 3 new school resource officers positions. This amendment includes salary, benefits, uniforms, and equipment. This amendment also includes 2 new vehicles and all the corresponding equipment and upfitting. These vehicles were the ones that were already planned during the budget process to be bought using the fund balance. Request the board to approve the following budget amendment. If it pleases the board, I will just read the line item titles and not the numbers corresponding, but they will be in the minutes. Debit salary deputies in the amount of $125,669. Debit FICA in the amount of $9,462. Debit retirement in the amount of $16,128. Debit group insurance in the amount of $40,080. Debit 401k retirement in the amount of $6,183. Debit cell phones in the amount of $2,340. Debit uniforms in the amount of $3,588. Debit capital outlay auto in the amount of $107,510. Debit capital outlay equipment in the amount of $23,238. And credit fund balance appropriated in the amount of $334,198.
I hear a motion to approve the following budget amendment.
Move with approve.
I hear a second. All in favor?
Through it. I mean,
whenever we discussed this, I may have missed the point where we approved 3 full-time positions. Where this came before us. There was some question at that point about some other funding sources, and I may be mistaken here, but I'm not sure we had consensus on adding 3 full-time positions in equipment.
I will make note, that the school board has pledged, and they have, my understanding in their meeting, they've approved to pay for one of these officers. All 3 will have to put in their budget, but they're agreeing to pay for 1 full officer and all the equipment and supplies that they need to get started. No vehicle.
We're getting 3 for 2.
I understand that. But, again, I don't think in our shop where this was discussed, we ever approved 3 full-time positions. Go talk to the sheriff, it was going to be a discussion that was taking place with him.
We didn't have this on the agenda in June, right?
I thought we had talked about 2,
And
and the school board would cover 1, but I'm assuming for account purposes, you're just showing all 3, and they're gonna
We have
reimburse
a
us
workshop?
for the 1.
No, we talked this night.
My son, I mean, that's what I got out of it. I thought we were gonna pay for 2, which we are, I mean, it's what's happening, but, I mean, I'm just saying that I'm assuming you just said 3 for, it's gotta go on our books, correct?
Talk to each.
We talked, so I don't know that we voted on it, if we need to vote. I don't know that we voted on it. We talked, didn't we?
There was, like, there was a lot of discussion, but there was not clear consensus, I didn't think, see. Especially right now with the budget having been passed, there are other possibilities that may come to pass from the state to cover some of this expenditure as well.
Correct, yeah. There are grant opportunities, and, in my conversations, anytime that something happens like the tragedy that happened in Texas, there's renewed interest that the legislature supply additional grant funding, which would, in my understanding, be in addition to the grant funding that we already received. So we received some grant funding that is channeled through the school system to us. I believe in the last, tranche that we received for last year, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000 with a 1/3 match from, government. And I imagine that would just increase.
If we proceeded and allocated for these positions, would that in any way affect our ability to receive those grants from the legislature for those positions?
If it's set up in the current grant structure that we receive now, then I don't think it will, because it's just based on positions. If there is some wording in some new, grant proposal that requires it to be classified as a new, resource officer as of a certain date, there is always a possibility that if we did it now, and then they said as of the date the legislation was put into effect, that it could throw us out of it. But if it's structured in the way that it is now, then I don't think it would.
That funding was substantial. It was proposed in the budget.
The 6th is when, that you would like down with the sheriff. It was after that, in the June.
We didn't formally.
Discuss it. Y'all discussed 2 at a time, did y'all meet?
Talked about it.
I mean, I don't have a problem with this at all, and evidently the sheriff is requesting it, but and if the school agrees to pay for one of them, and I know what Dennis is saying, we don't wanna lose grant money, but, you know, with the state, sometimes, the government works kinda slow, so, and I'm sure he wants to get this in place as quick as he can, I'm assuming. So, you know,
How are you gonna
don't have a problem
determine
voting
now,
on it.
how are you gonna determine now which children you keep safe? This will provide a resource officer in each school,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is what we tried to do 3 years ago and ended up hiring one. This will provide one at each school, and I think it's something we need to do.
Disagree with that, but I'm saying that this was not, this came to us as a budget resolution without having consensus. It appears to me, I have no problem with it going forward, I just think the mechanism through that we got here by what we normally do.
You know, I'm leaning toward the way, same thing, we need to go ahead and get it done if we can get it
And
done.
that would be on me, because we just discussed it, we didn't, well, formally adopt it.
Right to blame, but it needs to be done.
Motion and second.
My discussion.
All right. Do we have a motion
Yes,
to,
we do.
all right, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Number 2, the fiscal year 2021-22, the Sheriff's Office was awarded various grants and fund expenses related to the DARE program. These funds, $5,487.21 were not spent, and the department has requested that they be rolled over into the 22-23 fiscal year. Request the board adopt the following budget amendments to debit DARE drug prevention in the amount of $5,487.21, and the credit fund balance appropriated in the amount of $5,487.21.
I hear a motion to adopt.
Move to adopt.
I hear a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Item number 3, the Sheriff's Office receives money each month for the proceeds from the state unauthorized substance excise tax. In each fiscal year, the remaining monies must be carried forward to the next budget year. To be in compliance with state regulations, we need to move the money into fiscal year 22-23. Request the board to approve the following budget amendment to debit state drug fund expense in the amount of $8,995.31, and to credit fund balance appropriated in the amount of $8,995.31.
I hear a motion to approve.
Question. It comes out of the state drug fund, is that correct?
Comes out of what?
Out of the state drug fund,
Yes.
will it remain in that drug fund?
Yes.
Dennis, did you have a question?
No, I just made a motion to.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Item number 4, in the 21-22 fiscal year, the county received a Dogwood Health Trust grant that will complete a housing needs assessment in Avery County. This money will need to be moved forward to the 22-23 fiscal year. Request the board approve the following budget amendment to debit Dogwood Trust Housing Assessment Grant in the amount of $275,000, and the credit fund balance appropriated in the amount of $275,000.
Hear a motion to approve the budget amendment.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 5, the Department of Emergency Management has received money from FEMA for various expenses related to pandemic response, and has requested that these funds be rolled over into the 22-23 budget. Request the board adopt the following budget amendment to debit FEMA $149,931.86, and the credit fund balance appropriated $149,931.86.
Approved.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Item number 6, the Transportation Department was, not able to purchase a van that was budgeted in the 21-22 budget due to availability. They're requesting that the money be rolled forward into the 22-23 budget. Request the board adopt the following budget amendment to debit capital outlay vehicles in the amount of $43,976 and credit fund balance appropriated in the amount of $43,976.
I hear a motion to adopt the budget amendment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Item number 7, the Register of Deeds Department has received an automation grant from the state for the preservation of historic records. This grant money was received in the prior fiscal year and will need to be rolled over into the current fiscal year if approved. Request the board adopt the following budget amendment to debit Register of Deeds grant in the amount of $2,000 and credit fund balance appropriate $1,000.
I hear a motion that we adopt the budget amendment.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
In fiscal year 21-22, the Agricultural Extension Office was awarded a grant from the Blue Ridge Partnership for Children. Of these funds, $5,905 was not spent, and the department has requested that it be rolled into the 22-23 fiscal year. Request the board adopt the following budget amendment to debit Agricultural Extension grant in the amount of $5,905 and to credit fund balance appropriated $5,905.
I hear a motion to adopt the budget amendment.
Motion to adopt.
I hear a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Item number 9, the Department of EMS is requesting funding for the purchase of a QRV, ambulance, Zoll-X defibrillator, 4 life-arm CPR units, and a generator for the Vanderbilt EMS space. These items were already planned during the budget process to be bought using fund balance. Request the board approve the following budget amendment to debit capital outlay vehicles in the amount of $272,000, debit capital outlay medical equipment in the amount of $92,287, debit building improvement in the amount of $9,213, and credit fund balance appropriated in the amount of $373,500.
I hear a motion that we approve the budget amendment.
Move to approve.
All right, I hear a second. We have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Item number 10, the Department of Communications is requesting money to complete the console number 4 radio setup. This was planned during the budget process to be bought using fund balance. The board approved the following budget amendment to debit capital outlay office in the amount of $24,300 and to credit fund balance appropriated in the amount of $24,300.
Do I hear a motion to approve the budget
Motion
amendment?
to approve.
I hear a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Item number 11, the Department of Parks and Recreation is requesting funding to purchase hillside slides and climbers, as well as a play system at the Green Valley Park. These items were already planned during the budget process to be bought using fund balance. Request the board approve the following budget amendment to debit capital outlay in the amount of $96,066 and the credit fund balance appropriated in the amount of $96,066.
Do I hear a motion to approve the budget amendment?
Move to approve.
All right. Second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Item number 12, the Department of Emergency Management received an additional EMPG grant supplement to purchase equipment and supplies. This grant was issued in June and would need to be rolled over into the 22-23 budget to be spent. Request the board approve the following budget amendment to debit capital outlay in the amount of $11,067.51 and credit fund balance appropriated in the amount of $11,067.51.
I hear a motion to approve the budget amendment.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
The Avery County Department of Transportation has received a final allocation from the state in the amount of $71,855 to provide reimbursement for the costs associated with offering transportation to citizens needing the COVID-19 COVID-19 vaccine and pandemic-related expenses. Request the board adopt the following budget amendment to debit CARES Act in the amount of $71,855 and to credit transportation revenue in the amount of $71,855.
I hear a motion to adopt the budget amendment.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 14, the Fire Commission made changes to department allocations after the county budget had been finalized. This amendment will only move allocations between lines without any additional appropriations being made. To debit Elk Park Fire Department, $639. Debit Fall Creek Fire Department, $617. Debit Green Valley Fire Department, $907. Debit Linville Central Rescue Squad, $714. Debit Fire Commission, $87,499. Credit Banner Oak Fire Department, $7,730. Credit Frank Fire Department, $42,928. Credit Linville Fire Department, $37,210. Credit Newland Fire Department, $508. And Credit Fire Association, $2,000.
I hear a motion to adopt this budget amendment.
Moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Item number 15, the Department of Planning and Inspections, when doing their budget request, mistakenly did not submit any capital requests. They're requesting funding to purchase the following capital items: computer, flooring for planning and conference room, shelving, table, all-in-one printer, and goose down additions to the inspection program, and Bluebeam software. Request the board adopt the following budget amendment to debit capital outlay $11,760 and the credit fund balance appropriated $11,760.
I hear a motion to adopt this budget amendment.
To adopt.
I hear second.
This entirely.
And we kind of sit there and didn't question them about their capital.
Yeah.
So they turned in their 5-year capital plan. And Allison just assumed that we took it from there and presented it. And why I didn't say, wait a minute, what do you want to order this year? We didn't do that, so.
And I believe there might have been a breakdown in communication, the budget being created and it being presented. They had our meetings with us, and they hadn't requested any capital in the prior year either, and it didn't have any capital last year. Right. It wasn't a decrease because they didn't ask any capital last year either.
I hear a motion that we adopt the budget amendment.
We have a motion
All
and
right.
a second. Need a vote.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Let's make sure next year this don't happen though.
Yes, we'll definitely, I'll double check for, we do have occasionally some departments that don't request any capital. I'll make sure that we're clear if they don't request capital, that they're not intending to request capital. It was something that when we do capital, when we do our budget meetings with the departments, they provide capital quotes for all their capital and all those things that she had to quote. She was part of that budget meeting. And we're down in communication. Move forward with improvement in that area. Along with this area, item number 16, the Department of Solid Waste made a copy and paste error in their 22-23 budget request for household hazardous waste recovery. Under budgeted this line item. Request the board to adopt the following budget amendment to debit household hazardous waste recovery in the amount of $27,750 and a credit fund in the amount of $27,750.
I hear a motion that we adopt the budget amendment.
this entail?
And how did they come up with that figure?
Copy and paste. So you take your budget from last year and you put the same numbers back in there, and it, instead of putting 20,
He copied from the wrong tab in the sheet. Copied one sheet to the wrong tab
it
in the
didn't
sheet.
jump off the page at us when we went through it.
But still, how did he come up with $47,750 for household hazardous waste recovery?
It is $38,000 for household hazardous waste and $500 for fluorescent tube recycling. That plus what we already had in the budget for them. It wasn't completely, we budgeted $10,750 in that line. He's requesting, additional 52. It needs to be in that line.
Is this the funding for the hazmat day?
Yes, I believe it's, for the household hazardous waste where we do like paint and chemicals, all those things.
It's the money that covers getting rid of that, having that company come and take that away.
That's what I'm saying.
Properly
That-
disposed.
the hazmat.
Yeah. And I'm sure last year's budget was 30-something thousand. It didn't jump off the page again.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
And to help remedy that in the future, I've contemplated, you know, having, after we get through the final budget preparation that we do as a team, maybe being in communication with each department, saying this is where we're at, and make sure that those numbers agree with what they think they submitted to us, make sure. I'm going to try to implement some stuff to make sure that doesn't happen in the future. Item number 17, when the opioid special revenue fund was established at the June Commissioners meeting, the 2022-23 budget had already been finalized, and it was too late to include the opioid appropriation into the ordinance. This amendment just reappropriates the allocation, and it will be added to future budget ordinances. Debit opioid settlement expenditure in the amount of $1,173,352.63. Credit opioid settlement in the amount of $1,173,352.63.
I hear that we adopt.
That's the entire period?
Yes, that's for the entire period.
For the open.
Yeah.
So this establishes this for the next 17 years.
Correct, yes. So we established the fund in last year, but it was not a part of our budget ordinance. And so the funding was not reallocated through the budget ordinance process. So this amendment will put it in the current year's budget, and then in future years, it will be a part of the budget ordinance process. It'll just be automatically a part of the budget.
The actual receipts on an annual basis will be treated as a separate line item?
It will just be credited towards that amount. So, like so far was received $60-some thousand. You know, so it just kind of like, CDBG is multi-year, 600 and some thousand, although we don't get all 600 and some thousand at the same time, in the same year.
All right. I hear a motion.
To approve.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you, Board. That is all I have for you today. If you have any more questions for me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll move right along to 3.4C, our county attorney's report.
The only thing that I had that required the board's attention was the Freedom Life documents, but I think that's all.
All right, 3.5, our staff reports and requests. And 3.6, do we have anything for closed session?
My understanding, the board wishes to go into closed session, privilege.
All right. That is GS 143-318-11A3. I hear that we go into closed session. I hear a motion.
We go into closed session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. All right, we will call our meeting back in after having closed this session and no vote was taken. And we'll move along with agenda at 3.7, the approval of the minutes for March the 3rd, 2022, special meeting, April the 28th, 2022, and budget workshop, June the 6th, 2022, regular meeting.
Move we approve.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right, 3.8, our agenda consent items, we've had those before us and able to look over them. Do we have any questions about the agenda consent items? If not, they're adopted by consent. 3.9, we have our informational items. Got any special meetings that you want to announce, Phil?
Wednesday. So you're gonna work hard for us this week, we appreciate it.
Say it.
And
The
it's
economic
a country, and then at 1's our workshop.
Okay.
Mark Robinson.
Friday. On Thursday night, you can go, Mark Robinson, be at Mitchell County Thursday night, you can pay at the door, it's $50, start that
Right on Metro
5.
County.
And he'll be at, in
Banner
at the
Hill.
Highlander, Banner Hill, at 12 noon on Friday.
Metro County elected official, not a Metro County employee, so I don't.
Or
think
voter.
it's Metro County.
I will tell the board that I'm not gonna be able to attend any of that. My sister-in-law is having surgery, and her husband is blind, and I'm the one that has to take her, and,
You're driving Miss Stacy.
yeah. So I'll be tied up from after Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I won't be able. All right. Do we have anything else to say in this meeting? If not, we're adjourned.
Adjourn, I hope.
There's nothing,
Thank you all.
there's nothing else?